Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gatto. Welcome to Raceford's coverage of round one of the inaugural season of the ISRA Super Formula Light Series as we come to you for the opener here at Mosport, otherwise known as Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Qualifying has just started, about 8:40 left to play in a 10-minute period. Cars are taking to the track right now. Thanks for joining us. A small but spirited field is going to be on hand tonight for what will be a 50-minute timed race on a 2.46 mile natural road course. Pit road speed limit's 35 miles per hour. Everybody will get one fast repair. This is actually a pretty fun course. I have not driven in these cars. I have driven this course at speed, or at least race speed, or race conditions in a NASCAR truck. But these cars look a lot of fun here. Of course, we just had the FIS race here last week in the Formula Indy Series. Check us out on, or check them out on our channel here on Racefirst. We do have an extensive playlist for the FIS. And you can check out their current season 6, on Thursday nights. 8:50 p.m. is when we start. Actually, tomorrow night we'll be at Brands Hatch. We were just here, though, for the series. .646 left to play. Just a couple of set time. Let's see. We got Bradley Sexton, who just is at the top of the charts here at a 110.711. Brian Beard, who performed pretty well on our exhibition race here last week. Just behind him by 5/10, trying to get a better lap here. Matt Wagner also, again, very well in the first race. And our exhibition, the recruitment race, 9/10 behind. Lee Kane, 2.7 behind. Got some colorful cars out here, like Chris Reagan's here. Hawaiian Punch. Like those commercials back in the 70s, in the 80s, little cartoon character. Would you like a Hawaiian Punch? And punches the person. Yeah. Good old days. He is getting ready to, I think, complete a lap here, unless he got an X. So if you get an X in a road course qualifying, your lap will be incomplete. Sexton, or excuse me, Reagan did complete. He's right there behind Sexton, 8/10 behind the leader now, Beard, at a 110.2. David Rodriguez is now in there at P2 at 2/10 behind. Now you see the best lap time, 110.2. Rodriguez 110. Rodriguez up to the top, 110 flat. Beard 110.2. Sexton 110.6. Reagan 110.1, Wagner 110, 111. Well, Reagan's gonna be 111.1, Wagner 111.6, and Lee Kane 113.3. Now, one of the things we do cover here a lot on the channel is IndyCar racing, and that's kind of all we really have to hang our hats on here at Mosport. IndyCar series did come here back in the 60s and 70s, back when we were being sanctioned by USAC, the USAC Champ Car Series. 6 races were held here in the USAC Champ Car era, 2 in 67, followed by 2 in 68. Then we had a hiatus of 9 years when the series returned for 1 race each in 77 and 78. So each of the 2 in 67 68s were double headers. on the same either day or weekend. But the USAC track record set by the old USAC cars back in the day was right now current still track record for that formula of car. And I doubt we'll see real Indy cars here anytime soon. Not until maybe any safety improvements are made. Although, really, the street race at Toronto, which really isn't that far away, is probably going to get more people to show up to it anyway. So they'll probably just stay in Toronto on the street race. But if Indy cars were to come here, then they would be competing against a time and speed set by the Flying Hawaiian. Speaking of Hawaiian Punch, that's why we're keeping it here. The Flying Hawaiian, Danny Angaias, with a speed of 121.983 miles per hour, or a time of 113.6003 seconds. So as you see, these guys in these Super Formula cars are roughly, at least the pole speed, 3 seconds faster than the old USAC cars. And I believe that that time that set by Angaias was set in 78. To double check that. Of course, 78 was a season that was won by Tom Steve, better known for not winning a single race that season. And then also the championship was lost by the guy that won all the big races that season, Al Unser. He won the USAC Triple Crown that season. So 78, a big historical year in the grand scheme of IndyCar racing. The career wins leaders here at Mosport in terms of USAC Champ Car, Bobby Unser and Danny Gurney, each with 2. So they tell me here, at least that's what the stats tell me, that if you start from the pole, you have an excellent chance of winning here, as 5 of the 6 races were won by the pole sitter. So right now, with 2:10 left to play, David Rodriguez is in a good position to potentially get a win here, although Brian Beard right behind him, 1/10 behind. David Reagan is 2/10 behind. Jimbo Pfeiffer, he had himself a good exhibition race last week, 110.6. Sexton, 110.6 as well. Jimmy Herrick in the 4D car, 110.8. Matty Wagner, 111.6. Say hey, Lewis Hayes. Admittedly, he's more of a stock car guy. And I have hustled the stock car, or at least a truck around here, and it is hustling. I think I turned the lap about 123 here. And there's nothing that is friendly to this to a stock car on this track. We're watching Say Hey Lewis Hayes in that Formula One livery, Aston Martin, and he's at a 112.9. Lee Kane still at 113 flat. That puts him faster than the Indy cars back in the day. I got Chris Reagan saying Chris Reagan LOL. Did I say something wrong? I don't know. $23 seconds left to play. Rigney and Anzaldo have not turned times yet. So, with our overlay, when we do the starting lineup, we will not see Rigney or Anzaldo lined up in the graphic. That's one thing we continue to work on with our dev. Our old overlay used to do that, so he's kind of looking at our old overlay and trying to figure out why our old overlay did that and not our current one. So we are getting ready to go racing. But we have a 5-minute warm-up period, which gives me plenty of time. Plenty of time to give you today's starting lineup. And before we get too far, we also will have a track map and the track conditions for you. Don't forget, if you have not done so already, give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and notify. Hit the bell for the notify. And if you have done so already, we are doing this for donations, so if you can please donate to the broadcast fund, certainly would appreciate it. Link is in the description. Let's get into it. Here is the starting lineup here. David Rodriguez, Brian Beard on the front row. There we go. Give me those drums. David Rodriguez on the pole, Brian Beard in the front row, Chris Reagan, P3, Jimbo Pfeiffer, P4, Riley Sexton, P6, Jimmy Herrick, or excuse me, P5 for Sexton, Jimmy Herrick, P6, Matty Wagner, P7, Say Lewis Hayes in 8th, Lee Kane in 9th. So the last two will line up according to iRating. So I believe that's going to be possibly Rigney, and then George Anzaldo will be the last two on the starting grid. Ooh, missing part of the car there. So we'll do some ride-alongs with these guys, give you the full tour of the track here. And 2 minutes and 35 seconds. You need to make a run to get a drink, favorite meal, favorite snack. Still got a little time. This is a 50-minute timed race. I would imagine we see two time stops, or two stops, excuse me, on a timed race. I don't know if we will see any tire changes. As we saw in the race at Road America for the recruitment race, the longer these guys go and the lighter they get, the faster they go, regardless of the tire wear. These are like, they are appropriately speaking, these tires are like hockey pucks. And of course, we're here in Canada. So they just wear, they're very hard, not a lot of wear, and it takes a while just to really get them into optimal range. So as the fuel load comes off, these cars will get much faster. And you see cars through the Moss corner. The right front will actually lift up in that corner depending on where they have the car placed. These are very stiffly sprung, just like their older Formula brothers. They'll be on the Formula One side or the IndyCar side. Or the Super Formula side, for that matter. Of course, if you take a look in the description, the series schedule is there. And right there, we are opening this week here at Mosport. And then Monza next. And a couple key links there in the description if you like to be a part of the league. First of all, you can, if you're not already, you got to subscribe to iRacing. We got you a link there. Subscribe to iRacing. It is a paid service. And download the Super Formula Lights car. And you'll also have to buy the tracks. And then, of course, you want to join the league. There is a link to the ISRA Discord server where you can learn more about the ISRA and sign up to be in one of their leagues, whether it be the Super Formula Series or the upcoming Xfinity Series here in about 2 weeks. Warm-up is over. It's time to go racing. As they will line up. As we are here on the grid, standing start. We wait for everyone to load in, and then you'll hear the engine start picking up. and we go racing. Excuse me. Here we go. Looking at about 43 laps in this timed race. That number will change, and we are off. And we see David Rodriguez and Chris Reagan following them through down first turn. Brian Beard on the outside here. Also involved here, Briley Sexton coming on down into the off camber, really no camber corner. There goes one of the cars straight. That's Sexton. Oh, and into the wall. That's going to be probably stopping on pit road for a pit stop. Rodriguez, Reagan, Beard, now Pfeiffer. Coming up the Moss corner. This is a very fun corner and a car that handles well. Hit a double apex right there. Then down the Andretti straight. And this is where I hope you want to stay in the draft of the car in front of you to get a shot when you come down to the S's at the end of the straight. You know, this is a straightaway corner 6 and 7 encompass the back straight. This is the S's at 8. And then 9 on the other, on the left-hander here. And then 10 coming to the start-finish line. This is White's corner. And lap 1 is under the command of David Rodriguez. This is turn 1. This is, oh, Reagan getting off. Going downhill. Again, very difficult corner. There's not a lot of banking to hold you on here. Cars do tend to slip off. Here's Quebec. That was Clayton's corner where the cars kind of slip off. And a little bit of a straightaway, then uphill. They're kind of car almost bottoms out right about there. It's very heavy. They're very light. Want to watch those curves. You don't want to pop them too much. And their heavy acceleration will kind of send the back end around. Also, you're going to keep your wheels on the pavement up in the area, not on the dirt or even the rumble strips. That'll also disrupt the car a little bit. Down the Mario Andretti straight once again. Now the timing has adjusted itself to of 39 now. I don't have a 50-minute countdown, so what's another thing that we'll talk to my dev about is for timed races, get the countdown going. But the computer will roughly estimate how many laps. I'd imagine, it says it's back to 42 again. So let's bring up the old calculator, 42, and let's say we want to make it a two-stopper. Will they come in every 14 laps? Kind of what they did a little bit at Road America. At least that seems to be the IndyCar stint length is about 14 laps at Road America. I would suspect they could probably do 14 here. It's a much shorter course by half, really. Road America 4 miles. This is just under 2.5. Let's go through the field real quick. There is David Reagan, and leading a battle here between Beard and Pfeiffer. Matt Wagner back in 5th. Jen Herrick in 6th. Herrick in that 4D car looking good. There's Rigney and the number 80. Lee Kane kind of by himself. Say, hey, Lewis Hayes on pit road, really rolling off, letting the traffic go. Looks like he might have made a stop. And Bradley Sexton made a stop, got his fast repair. He is back underway. We know he's going to be fast, but he doesn't really have anyone to race against at the moment. But I expect to see some purple laps coming out of him once his tires get optimized. Rodriguez about out to a 1.5 second lead over Reagan, Beard, and Pfeiffer. We got a battle for position. Beard and Pfeiffer side by side through the S's, coming into White's corner here. And Beard getting the position. Let's ride along with Beard for a lap. Down to the rumble strips. You don't have to hit them. You can't hit them if you want. You can hit the rumble strips there if you want. Up the hill, down the hill. You got to keep the car pinned to the inside and want to float out. Not a lot of banking to keep you in that, keep you on the road there. You can hit the rumble strips there if you want to. In the Quebec. Down a bit of a straightaway here. Down the hill. Car compresses right about here. On the brakes, down shifting to the gearbox, double apex, Moss corner. Now we're on the Andretti straight. I think he's taking a bit of a defensive position to the inside versus Reagan. We're just watching from his point of view right now, so I'm assuming that's why he was racing on the inside of the straightaway through the S's. There's pit in. Pit in is very narrow, slippery through Clayton, or excuse me, through White's corner, and back on another lap. 6 in the book already. And pardon the explosion of carbonated gas from my my Coke bottle here. We're not sponsored by Coke, but certainly we are looking for sponsorship. There you see on the tree to the left, you'll see a purple number on the P4 position. That is Jimbo Pfeiffer in that yellow car, this third car in your picture right there. The purple 4 means that he has the purple lap. Purple lap is the fastest lap turn during the race. Currently, that's a 110.409, and we got a collision, and that is between Beard and Reagan. And we're going to have to look back. We're going to have to replay that one back a little bit. I don't know if we'll have the camera on. Here we go. So he's sitting inside, tries to send it, but I think that he wasn't expecting Reagan to brake as early as he did, possibly. But he will get the tow and a fast repair. He'll get back in this, but unfortunately, he's out of it for the win for today. Lee Kane on pit road. Down and away. Rodriguez with a good-looking livery in that Polaroid. Cars definitely aren't as loud as the Indy cars or the trucks that we carry here as well. Kind of have a bit of a whisper to them. Ooh, hear it bottoming out. Let me see, Rigney moving up to 5th. I think Eric looks like he might have an issue trying to keep his car. Yeah, there you go, his left rear off the ground. Trying to avoid the tow. They'll go to pit road, hopefully have the fast repair to get that taken care of. Meanwhile, up front, David Rodriguez, your leader. Eight of 43, so we're still projecting 43 at the moment. If we're going to do a two-stopper, the window opens at 14. do a one-stopper. The window opens about lap 22. If you enjoy race first coverage of the ISRA Super Formula Light Series and respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. We realize about 40% of you watching are not subscribers. You can change that right now. That's right. YouTube analytics tells us what's going on. We know who's out there just watching. Come on, subscribe. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. Make sure to also hit that thumbs up. That doesn't cost you anything either. That's the best thing you can really do other than subscribing, is support us by hitting the thumbs up. And if you do subscribe, make sure to ring the bell. Get future race verse notifications of future race verse iRacing programming. We have lots of it. After tonight, tomorrow night, we will be in the FI. We'll be broadcasting the FIS, 8:50 p.m. Eastern. They will be at Brands Hatch. If you're wondering what the FIS is, it is IndyCar racing with kind of Formula One style rules, at least standing starts. And they will go to FIS, or they will do Brands Hatch. Then next week they'll move to Detroit. And that will be it for April. Then they move to their month of May to Indianapolis. They will actually go to the Indianapolis Oval, and they actually use the entire month of May for that one race. So there's no other races scheduled that month for the FIS. So check them out. They are one of the larger IndyCar leagues out there. They've been since they started the season, 30 plus cars every single race. So check that out. 30 cars on a standing start madness. That is madness. Check them out. FIS tomorrow. And then one of our signature broadcasts that we're proud to bring you will be on Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, when they race, we race, and it's NTT IndyCar weekend at Long Beach. So the IIS, that is the IndyCar iRacing series, the official series for iRacing and IndyCar, will be racing at Long Beach. In fact, some of the, Jim Herrick off bottom of the hill. Guys getting out of the way. Guys avoiding him. We'll go back to Chris Reagan and Jimbo Pfeiffer, which is about to close this battle on the racetrack at the moment. Wagner's starting to get into the picture here too. But the one of our signature broadcasts, 2 p.m. Eastern on the top split Saturday at that 2 p.m. Eastern race here on iRacing and Raceverse. We'll see some of the best IndyCar drivers on all IndyCar sim racers in all the world, really, will be in that race. Battle for position up front. We'll go back up to those two. Reagan and Pfeiffer were side by side. Reagan holds the position. 11 of 43. Getting close to the first window opening. So that's Saturday. That is a 100% length race too. So lots of action there. Should be a full field. Should be about 24, 25, 26 cars possibly. And then on Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, Dark Horse DW12 Series. They will be at Gateway. Those are the next couple of big races coming up here on Race First, so that's why we want you to subscribe, ring the bell. You will get notified of those races when we publish them, as well as when we go live. Purple lap is Rodriguez now. Turn a lap of 110.1. Again, like we said, this is the model of what we saw at Road America. That number will continue to flip and flop, move around to different drivers as this fuel load burns off. No, Pfeiffer down in Clayton corner. He spins out, getting loose. I don't know if he was loose under braking or loose coming back to accelerator. But he's going to pick back up. He might want to think about hitting pit road next. Those tires are starting to give up. So that moves Chris Reagan now with a pretty comfortable cushion now over Matt Wagner, who's now in third. Jimbo Pfeiffer now fourth. Mike Rigney is in fifth. Jim Herrick has hit pit road, got the fast repair. He's down a lap, but in sixth. And Bradley Sexton, there's going to be a battle for position coming up here real shortly. Bradley Sexton, of course, had that runoff on the Clayton corner on the start. He's running down Jimmy Herrick. He's been turning 110s. The drivers said do some interviews while they're driving. You know, I don't like to do that because I don't want to distract anybody, especially when we got a battle coming up here between two drivers. We'll have to talk about that in the for future broadcasts. Kind of set some rules or something. Because the last thing I want to do is, these guys, even though this is for fun, oh, Sexton getting a little loose there on corner entry in the Moss, but straightens it up. I'm just a messenger. Here comes second. This is a battle for position. This is sixth, battle for sixth right here. A move to the inside. Jimmy Herrick coming into the S's. Clears him. Move Sexton up to sixth. Herrick back to seventh. Say hey, Lewis Hayes is also on this lap as well. He's a little bit further back on the Andretti straight. He is solidly in eighth, but not in direct contact with Herrick for seventh at the moment. Rodriguez, now the window for the two-stopper is open. So, not sure if if anyone wants to do a two-stopper or not. Again, tires, the longer you have the tires, the better they tend to do. This is lap 15, so he could still pit and do a two-stopper if he wanted to. So he might be going to the one-stopper here, which will be right around 21, 22. As long as he keeps his track, and he just turned a purple lap last time by at a 1:48.1. A 1:10.148, and I think he turned almost an identical lap of it the next time by at a 1:10.149. They're both purple, so they must be close enough to timing his scoring. Reagan said, "Man up." He's very energetic. Well, he's trying to. He needs to run down the leader right now. He doesn't need me talking to him. I had one league actually ask me they wanted to do in-car interviews during the race at all, and there was big fields, really big fields. I'm not going to name the leagues or anything, and I was like, nah, you know what? I do not want to be responsible for causing a wreck. Now, of course, we only have 10 cars in this field. I could probably get away with it, but really I want, everyone here should, they put the effort into putting on a good race, putting on a good show. You want to keep your focused on the racetrack, not me in your ear. I have actually, there was a pretty funny joke from one of my friends that I used to do a podcast back in the day, and this is freaking said that to me over the broadcast. I used to do a podcast back in the day, and he was listening to it. He was serving in Afghanistan, and he said he used one time he was listening to my podcast, and he was actually a live firefight broke out where he was. They were out in the field, and a firefight broke out, and he said he used it as a motivation to get through that firefight, because he said the last thing he didn't want to hear was my voice through his ears before he died. So whatever motivation you need to get through a firefight, here, much like G.I. Joe, Gary Gazzo is here to save the day. Here's Matt Wagner back in third. Coming wide back. Come on, keep her easy, keep her easy, keep her easy, keep her easy. Okay. See, that's why I don't want to talk to anybody right there. And I could have taken away from his focus, but he keeps it on. Now, it's very easy to do that up there in Moss Corner, especially when you get your wheels off in the dirt and you hit the accelerator, which sometimes people do, because you can kind of coast halfway through the corner, hit the accelerator, and then kind of blast through that last second apex down the Andretti straight. And if you got your wheels off on the grass, it will swap ends on you. 19 of 43. And told you to watch out for this one. Bradley Sexton just turned a little lap ago. The fast lap. We're now in the 109s, guys. Again, as these tires get more worn, they are hockey pucks. As they get more worn, more hot, the light and the weight comes off the car from the fuel. These laps will just get faster and faster. Very similar if you've ever driven the Lotus 79s. The Lotus 79s are very much like that. Tires are like hockey pucks. But later in the run, you got Rigney and Wagner. I don't see what happened to Wagner, but there is a battle for third and fourth. And Wagner's down to fifth. Move Rigney up to fourth. Jimbo Pfeiffer is in third. I think maybe Wagner had an off that we missed. He's on pit road. So this is going to be his stop. He's going to do a one-stopper, cut her in half, and be done with it. And that goes up on the jack, so that shows that he's going to get a new set of tires here. No tire limits in this series, and down and away. So that is the first of, I say, with scheduled stops. Anyone else has stopped, I would say probably not a scheduled stop. I don't think George Anzaldo took the green. Now, you're not required to stop. There is no compound change. There's none of that in this race. I believe there's enough fuel to go the distance. Could be wrong. Again, I don't know a lot about these cars. There's kind of highlighting some of the skills, other skill sets of these drivers. A lot of these drivers, formerly of the Lionheart Series. Lionheart Series taking a bit of a sabbatical this season, or this year. Hope to see them back in 2025. So the ISRA has been kind of put forth to kind of give the Lionheart guys a home for the 2024 calendar year. Of course, they just completed the Truck Series, which was an 8-week truck campaign. That was won by Lionel Callisto. Matty Wagner was P2 in that series. Matt is currently 5th on the racetrack right now. See if anybody makes the run to pit road. Here he goes, right at the halfway point. Your leader, David Rodriguez, on pit road. And there's a car in front of him, a car behind him, Chris Reagan. And Jimbo is on there as well. So staying out is going to be Sexton. Sexton can go a little bit longer, so he's back on the lead lap. Rodriguez down and away. Reagan down and away. Jimbo, we're waiting. Down and away. He was in the box for about a second longer than Reagan. Maybe get a little bit of repair work done. We don't know. So the top three have stopped, but Rodriguez is still the leader. Here is Rigney. Rigney is not... actually, Rigney did stop at 21. Wagner at 20. So everyone's made their scheduled stop of all the leaders. That could be their one stop of the day. Not enough fuel. Okay. So do they have to... they probably got enough fuel there with that stop. Hopefully. Nine seconds back to Reagan there. And Jimbo Pfeiffer, 16 seconds back to the leader. Up to the leader. 20 to go, give or take. Here at the timed race, 50 minutes. Once again, the rule set is 35 mile per hour. If you can still hear me, there we go. 35 mile per hour pit road speed limit, 50-minute time limit, 1 fast repair, no tire limits, no restrictions on fuel. If you're just joining us, this is race first coverage of the ISRA Super Formula Series coming to you from Mosport, otherwise known as Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, where we've completed 23 of approximately what we expect about 43 laps, about 50 minutes. Is what the computer is calculating, about 43 lap mark. If you're enjoying race first coverage of tonight's coverage, we're enjoying race first. If I could talk tonight. If you're enjoying race first's coverage of tonight's race, and would like to send a few bucks our way, please do so. You can find a link in our GoFundMe campaign to our GoFundMe campaign in the stream description. I do realize times are tough. Talking's even tougher. Jim Herrick passing, or Sexton passing Herrick. Ah, there it is. Okay, so Sexton actually pitted. And I was being thrown off there with Brian Beard's car. It's very similar color. Sexton still does have the purple lap. At a 109.927. And a 109.927, 125.078 miles per hour. Talking is cringe. Well, I know talking is cringe. I have only 10 cars on the track to talk about. Only 9 cars now, because you're out. And one thing we haven't shown everybody is here's what the weather conditions are right there. 107 track temp, 71.4 degrees ambient. Give everybody an idea of the track. Everyone's kind of well spread out there. Most everyone is on the Moss Corner side of things, coming down the Andretti Straight. We can leave that up. This is not a very technical track, because actually it's, like I said, a lot of fun. Only a couple of passing areas, I would say. There's one of them right there with the final corner. One, yeah, you can get underneath somebody at one. You need to pull it off because if you don't, the person on the outside or the inside becomes the person. The person on the outside becomes the person on the inside of the next corner, and they'll get the position. And then this is not really a passing zone right here. I might want to set people up for coming up the hill into Moss Corner. Track map says this is 5A, 5B, and 5C right there. The rumble strip ends. There's a slight bend in the straight right here. This is 6. And then another slight bend, and they call it 7. So if that kind of rings of what they do at Road America, yes, that's exactly what they do at Road America. Any slight bend in the road course, and it is a turn. Someone had to keep me company in chat. Well, I appreciate that. And hopefully, yeah, you are better with Monza. Monza is a fun track. These cars should be fun. They should be in a big pack in that Monza, really. All those straightaways. And Monza really is kind of the only other place in the world at one point in time where the Formula One drivers and the IndyCar drivers went at it head-to-head. They occasionally would do it at Indianapolis, but not very often. It was, back in the 50s, the race of two worlds. That was kind of the big super all-star race between the USAC Champ Car drivers and the Formula One World Championship drivers. There was talk back in the 90s, I believe, especially when well, you did pretty good laps. I mean, I spent me a week to figure out how to get a truck around here and do 123s on a truck. It's pretty decent, I understand, but it didn't pay off in the race at all. Anyways, there was talk back in the 80s, I think, that Formula One, I think CART and Formula One kind of threw a challenge down on each other, and Bernie would never quite agree to the rules. I think there was going to be 2 races, a CART Formula One challenge type thing on a road course, which, I mean, I don't know. I don't care what you say against the CART car, even back in the 90s when they were kind of from 94, 95, certainly 95 to 2000. I believe the CART chassis were at their peak. I don't think they would ever challenge a Formula One car on a road course. Now on an oval, that's the bread and butter of IndyCar. That's what we're known for. Originally as oval racing, which then they've transitioned into doing permanent and temporary road courses as well. But yeah, there's no way that the Formula One cars would be able to compete with the Indy cars on an oval for the first couple of laps, possibly, as they would get up to speed so much quicker than the Indy cars. Indy cars, as Bobby Unser used to like to say, were like on a flywheel. You can take the momentum and take some a lap or so, or lap or two, to get up to full speed, and they'd be passing those Formula One cars in no time. So I'm not quite sure what an IndyCar Formula One challenge would prove, other than what we already know. Formula One cars would probably beat Indy cars on a road course, and Indy cars would probably beat Formula One cars on an oval. It would be interesting, though, to see, outside of a simulation aspect of things, it would be interesting to see a Formula One car on an oval for a televised race. My understanding that McLaren did actually test on the Phoenix Oval one time. They were turning pretty competitive laps back in the day on the, I forget what year it was. Definitely back in the 90s, I think. I might have been Ayrton Senna actually testing it. So maybe early 90s. Anyways, 30 of 43. Approximately 13 laps to go. Watching Chris Reagan now. But let's take a look at our leader, David Rodriguez. Continuing to turn 110s. Everyone's kind of settled into that 110 bracket pretty good. Led all the laps, I believe, so far. Yeah, if you took Formula One and Indy and turned them into multi-class, that'd be something. And I have seen some leagues here on the surface, on the iRacing service, that have actually done some multi-class IndyCar racing with the IR18 DW12 and IR05. Problem with that, though, you need to have really good setups for the IR05 and the DW12s because they don't have the tools available to them, or just having an open setup race. That's kind of what I would do. That open setup kind of discourages a lot of people, scares a lot of people. It is hard. There are tools out there to help. Rodriguez, your leader. Chris Reagan, we were watching him in the longest time in Hawaiian Punch car. There he is, P2. Jimbo Pfeiffer, he's going to have our hot lapper Sexton on his tail, but that's not a battle for position. This is just a battle for track position. Here is Jimbo for third, and Sexton right behind him. We will keep the camera on. I think Sexton will be fast enough, possibly, to get a shot on the pass. To the inside through the S's. Again, this is not, whoa, kind of forced his way in there a little bit. That's okay. No harm, no foul. Clips the inside curb. Disrupts the car, but keeps it under him. Exit high, a little off the rumble strips, getting on the dirt, but down, and he's got the position, at least on the track position. He's still the lead car on the one lap down. Next car, closest car is to him is Jimmy Herrick. That's right there. Herrick is 7th spot. But Sexton with the purple lap still. As mentioned, the 199 purple lap. So Pfeiffer looking for another podium. Matt Wagner trying to recover. Come on, Matt. There we go. Drivers are saying that the track is too hot to get purple laps now. We'll see. I mean, it's maybe later in the race when that fuel burns off. Let's check the track temperature, shall we? Let's do that right there. It's right there on your screen. 106. 106 in the Freedom units. 71.6 degrees ambient temperature in Freedom units. Our biggest mover of the day, here he is right here, Rigney. He is our host with the most, up 5 spots. Good job at the double apex corner there. And they still do race at Mosport, in case anyone was wondering. I believe we see... what, WeatherTech sports cars come here, I think? Let's see, IMSA. The NASCAR Canadian Series comes here. Or the NASCAR Canada Series. Or at least came here. I don't think that series is around anymore. But the IMSA Sports Car Championship, yeah, they are still here. Trans Am Series, a Mosport Trans Am. Formula One Canadian Grand Prix was here as late as 1977. Of course, that's now in Montreal. NASCAR Truck Series did come here for a period of time. GT World Challenge also came here for a period of time. This, I believe the track has been changed a little bit in terms of safety. I believe this might be, I'm not sure when the scan of Mosport was done. And the reason I say Mosport is everyone tells me this because Sir Sterling Moss designed it and named, of course, the corner is named after him. That it should be called Mosport. Some people call it Mosport. I will stick with what the Canadian told me, Mosport. So yeah, the IMSA, yeah, the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship still does come here. Yep. The ability to look at Wikipedia while we watch Rigney race here. And the NASCAR Pinty Series. I'm not sure what that is. The Pinty Series must be smaller cars. Yeah. I don't pretend to know NASCAR. Meanwhile, back up front, there is David Rodriguez. Let's take a look at Bradley Sexton. He's got the purple lap. He's probably kicking himself a little bit on that first lap off. Yeah, Wiki's helpful. On information I don't know. Now, if I already have it committed, of course, I don't need Wiki for that. Yeah, I've not seen much. Well, there's Jim Herrick in the pits now. He has punched out. I was getting ready to give 4D Racewear a shout there. Let's give him a shout anyways. 4D Racewear. Check out their made-for sim racing line of gloves, shoes, and apparel. You can check them out at 4dracewear.com. So the number 4, the letter D, right there, right on the back of the wing there. WEAR.com. Put 4D Race in front of the WEAR.com, and there you go. Go to their site, check them out. Good stuff. Buy some stuff from them. That is Jim Herrick's business. Say hey, Lewis Hayes. He is continuing to move on here. Now, we know he's not a natural driver of these, but he is surviving. Sometimes that's half the battle, and there's everybody on the backstretch right now. Say hey, Lewis Hayes is up to 8th. Herrick might be done in the pits. He is currently 9th. Maybe under extended repairs. Hey, moving to the inside there to allow, that's Rigney? Yeah, I think it's Rigney on by. Yeah, I am not a road course racer at all, and when I do get into road course racing, Really, it's not a battle for ultimate. Come on, stay on. There we go. It's not for ultimate last speed or anything like that. It's definitely, as the Formula One show on Netflix is, this is Drive to Survive. I race the racetrack. Now, ovals, that's different. Five to go. Watch Brian Beard. Unfortunately, he was involved in an early incident and off, required a tow. Got the fast repair, has been back going ever since, but kind of down in the order to 7th. Raised like 7 degrees since the start of the race. Okay. Four to go. And we'll go back up to our leader. At 4 on the lead lap currently right now. Rodriguez, Reagan, Pfeiffer, and Rigney. And these cars do not like the minute. It looks like the left rear even tried to come off the ground there. And looks like Wagner hitting pit road at an extended stop, so something missed what happened to him, but way to go. David's still attacking these corners pretty good. Saw him slide through that last one right there. Once again, your biggest gainer is Mike Rigney. He is up 6 spots to 4th. Last car on the lead lap. He's about 50 seconds behind your leader right here, David Rodriguez. P2 Reagan 17 seconds behind. Pfeiffer 26 seconds behind. 2 laps to go here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. The first race in the ISRA Super Formula Light Series. Getting around Wagner. That does disrupt your turn a little bit, but he does it good. Keeps it under control like a pro. Top of the hill, car gets light. And a little off camber right there, a little dip. Car tends, one of the wheels tends to pop up in the air sometimes. Down the Andretti straight. And much like he did in the trucks at Gateway, David Rodriguez put a spanking on the field. Although he needs another lap to go in order to get the win. We don't want to fully jinx him yet. The commentator's jinx has been very powerful as of late. Or at least if you ask Matty Wagner. And this is being classified as the final lap. Yeah, final lap. White flag in the air. Once again, guys, if you're just joining us, this is the last lap of the round one of the ISRA Super Formula Series coming to you from Mosport. Where right now David Rodriguez is going through Moss Corner on his last time through. Going to be looking at a checkered flag here momentarily at the end of the Andretti straightaway through the S's and White's Corner. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Click the thumbs up to like, please. Subscribe and ring the bell. Share with a friend. David Rodriguez through the S's last time. Checkered flag. David Rodriguez spanking on the field today. And waiting for Rigney. He'll have that last car to lead lap here momentarily. And there is Beard. And this is Rigney right here. All right. And there is your final standings. David Rodriguez, your winner. Chris Reagan, P2. Jimbo Pfeiffer, P3. Rigney, 4th. Sexton, 5th. Wagner, 6th. Brian Beard, 7th. Say Hey Lewis Hayes, 8th. Jimmy Herrick, 9th. Lee Kane, 10th. And I believe George Zaldo finished 11th, but just did not take the green flag. So 10 cars. Rodriguez led them all. Did everything. He almost got the Grand Slam. The Grand Slam, though, was broken up by Bradley Sexton. Sexton got the fast lap. Rodriguez got the win, got the pole, led them all. So got 3 of the Grand Slam there, but not the critical 4th one, which is the purple lap. But still, a spanking. All right. I think we'll just actually bring up the winner because there really was not that much battling going on outside the opening laps. So we'll just kind of bring up the winner, and we'll talk about format of going forward of how we want to do things. But we definitely want to let the winner put the effort in, let him talk about getting on the top step here. Hey, Dave, got you in the booth with Gary. Not much of a race in terms of competitors. For much of the race, looks like kind of racing the racetrack. Not much there when to challenge you at all. Led them all. Had the fastest lap, got the win. Just everything but the Grand Slam. Unfortunately, Sexton got the purple lap. But other than that, talk about your race.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got pole position, which was great, and from the start just focused on, protecting the tires a little bit and keeping everyone behind. There was a bit of attrition. So the entire race I wasn't really going 100%. I was really going 90% until the last stint where I was trying to go for that fastest lap to get the Grand Slam, but I was a tenth away, and it was right there, but I just couldn't do it. So, yeah, overall good race.
Well, before we let you go, anybody you want to shout out to, say hi to before we let you go? You earned the win, so you got the opportunity to grab the microphone and talk, say whatever you want.
I mean, obviously the ISRA League, Rigney, for putting this on for us. We're all having a lot of fun, and for you guys and for you, Gary, for putting on a great broadcast for us. So
today was
sure you would love to be racing with us. But,
today would be a marginal broadcast at best.
Yeah.
But we're glad you guys had fun. We're glad you had fun, and I'm glad you got to enjoy yourself and get the win. We will hopefully see you at the next one at Monza. But congratulations on the now being the trivia question: who won the first Super Formula Lights race here in the ISRA? Well, the answer is now you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. We're not going to bring up anyone else because not kind of you kind of heard about it. Everyone's just kind of focusing in on the racetrack, but we will expand the format a little bit in the next one and see about bringing up drivers and stuff during the race. So we haven't really discussed that much, but we'll definitely talk about that in the next race. But that's going to do it here for us here at Race First. So that's it. Wow. I have a dog fight in the background going on here in my house. No kidding. I have an older dog, and we just recently got a puppy, and the older dog is telling the younger dog who's in charge. I don't blame him at all. So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium here from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park is David Rodriguez with the win, Chris Reagan P2, Jimbo Pfeiffer P3. Join Race First hopefully again next week for round 2 of the ISRA Super Formula Light Series. The team of drivers move to the Temple of Speed Monza. Coverage begins around 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Again, that's 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Of course, it's a new series, and you can find all the correct times for your area right here on YouTube at youtube.com/racefirst. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy. Neither is talking. So please help support Race First with the weekly grind and leave a comment and let us know you thought of tonight's race. And thank you for Tempest for being so active in chat. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe. And while you're at it, click the bell so you get all the weekly reminders. Anytime we go live, anytime we post something new, check it out here, and that's everything you need here for Race First right there. Just click the bell and we'll remind you. Keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge and all iRacing. Race First, we still know what Indy means. For business inquiries and learn more about Race First and what we do, visit racefirst.com, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter. So for Gary Gazzo, everyone at Race First, saying to all good night. Thanks for watching, and to all our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, come home safe. Catch us again right here next week in Monza for the next race of the ISRA Super Formula Light Series. Good night, everyone.